The moment Garth Brooks arrived on the Kelly Clarkson Show, the atmosphere seemed charged with anticipation. Fans were eager to see the country music legend discuss his latest projects, but there was a subtle tension in the air. Cameras captured his polite greeting to Kelly, and he took his seat with a calm demeanor, but those watching closely could sense that this interview might take an unexpected turn. The energy in the studio hinted that something more than a routine chat was about to unfold. Kelly opened the discussion warmly, asking Garth about his recent tour and upcoming albums. At first, the conversation flowed naturally, with Garth sharing anecdotes from the road and reflecting on his career. However, as the dialogue progressed, Kelly's questions began to touch on more personal and controversial topics. Garth answered with humor at first, but there was a noticeable tightening in his expressions, signaling that he was growing uncomfortable with the direction of the conversation. Kelly's tone, while casual, took on a slightly probing edge as she asked about Garth's past public controversies and media scrutiny. The audience laughed lightly at her comments, but the laughter felt strained, as if sensing that Garth was not fully at ease. Garth responded diplomatically, emphasizing his focus on music and connecting with fans rather than dwelling on past issues. Yet, the tension between host and guest was becoming more apparent with each passing minute. As Kelly pressed further, asking about rumors surrounding his personal life and professional disagreements, Garth's composure began to show cracks. He addressed the questions carefully, explaining that much of what is reported about celebrities can be misleading and exaggerated. The audience could see his frustration rising subtly. While his tone remained calm, the emotional weight behind his words was undeniable, creating a palpable tension in the studio. Kelly attempted to lighten the moment with a joke, but it unintentionally highlighted the friction between them. Garth's response, though polite, carried a hint of defensiveness. He clarified that he appreciated honest questions but did not feel comfortable discussing certain personal matters on live television. The studio audience's reactions shifted from amusement to a mix of curiosity and concern, sensing that the conversation was no longer straightforward. The dialogue escalated when Kelly asked about his interactions with other celebrities and past disagreements in the music industry. Garth's responses were measured, but there was an unmistakable firmness in his tone. He explained that he preferred to focus on positive relationships and musical collaborations rather than dwelling on conflicts. Despite his calm delivery, it became clear that the conversation was moving into uncomfortable territory for him. Kelly persisted, suggesting that celebrity conflicts often shape public perception. Garth nodded, acknowledging her point, but he firmly stated that public opinion should not define personal experiences or artistic endeavors. The tension in the room grew as the discussion turned more pointed. The audience shifted in their seats, sensing the clash between Kelly's probing questions and Garth's growing frustration with the line of questioning. At this point, Garth emphasized the importance of respecting boundaries in interviews. He highlighted the difference between discussing one's work and being interrogated about personal matters. His tone remained calm but resolute, signaling that he had reached a limit. The audience's energy became more subdued, reflecting the seriousness of the exchange, while the cameras captured the subtle shifts in both hosts' expressions. Kelly tried to steer the conversation back to music, but her follow-up questions kept circling back to sensitive topics. Garth responded with patience, attempting to answer diplomatically, but his eyes revealed that he was growing increasingly uncomfortable. He politely reminded her that his personal life was private, and he wanted to focus on the positive aspects of his career instead. The studio felt the strain, with the audience anticipating how the situation would unfold. The tension escalated further when Kelly mentioned a high-profile incident involving Garth and a fellow celebrity. Garth's jaw tightened slightly, and he took a moment to collect his thoughts before responding. He stressed that past misunderstandings were best left in the past and that his priority was his fans and music. The comment seemed to momentarily calm the situation, but the underlying friction remained, like a storm cloud waiting to break. As the interview continued, Kelly's questions grew sharper, and Garth's patience began to wane. He tried to answer diplomatically, acknowledging the curiosity surrounding his personal life while reiterating his desire to focus on his music. The audience sensed the increasing strain, and social media began reacting in real time, predicting a possible escalation. The energy in the studio was tense, with every word weighed carefully by both the host and guest. Garth became more assertive, politely setting clear boundaries about the topics he would discuss. He explained that while he respected the audience's interest, probing into personal matters could feel intrusive and unfair. His calm demeanor contrasted with the intensity of the conversation, but it was clear that the situation was approaching a breaking point. The audience watched silently, recognizing that something significant was about to happen. Kelly responded to Garth's boundaries with a mix of surprise and insistence, pressing further despite his requests for privacy. Garth maintained composure but subtly signaled that he was close to ending the conversation. The tension in the studio was almost tangible, with co-hosts and producers exchanging concerned glances. Viewers at home could sense that this was no longer a routine interview but a confrontation that might escalate further. Garth addressed the camera directly, expressing that he valued his career and fans more than engaging in debates about his personal life. His tone was firm but polite, emphasizing respect and professionalism. The audience reacted with murmurs of agreement and tension, sensing the gravity of his words. It became clear that Garth was asserting control over the conversation and preparing to leave if the discussion continued down a sensitive path. As Kelly continued with her line of questioning, Garth finally made a decisive move. Without raising his voice, he calmly stood up, signaling that he could not continue under the circumstances. His gesture was deliberate and measured, emphasizing that his exit was about setting personal boundaries rather than expressing anger. The studio audience gasped softly, and the cameras focused on his composed yet determined expression as he moved away from the table. Garth walked toward the edge of the stage, thanking Kelly and the production team politely, but avoiding further engagement with the topic that had caused tension. The audience applauded quietly, recognizing the controlled nature of his exit. There was no dramatic outburst, only a dignified assertion of personal limits. The energy in the room shifted, from anticipation and tension to quiet respect for Garth's decision. Kelly appeared momentarily stunned, trying to recover from the unexpected turn. She attempted to comment on Garth's professionalism, but her words lacked the same impact now that he had left the set. Co-hosts exchanged glances, trying to recalibrate the tone of the show. The cameras lingered on the empty space where Garth had been seated, capturing the weight of the moment. Social media quickly reacted to the incident, with clips of Garth walking off going viral within minutes. Fans praised his composure and assertiveness, while some critics debated whether leaving the interview was appropriate. The online discussion amplified the impact of the confrontation, turning a daytime television moment into a trending topic worldwide. Behind the scenes, producers and staff worked quickly to manage the situation. They adjusted the remaining portion of the show, attempting to transition to lighter topics. But the shadow of the confrontation lingered. Crew members and hosts alike acknowledged that this was not a routine departure, it was a defining moment that would likely influence how future interviews were conducted. Analysts began discussing the significance of Garth's walk-off, highlighting the growing trend of celebrities asserting control over personal boundaries during live interviews. They noted that while some may view such exits as dramatic, they often reflect a necessary step in maintaining professional and emotional integrity in high-pressure environments. Fans expressed solidarity with Garth online, emphasizing the importance of respecting personal boundaries. Many shared stories of feeling similarly pressured in public or professional situations, praising Garth for taking a stand calmly and gracefully. The incident sparked broader conversations about the ethics of live interviews and the treatment of public figures under intense scrutiny. Critics, however, suggested that avoiding certain questions could be seen as evading accountability. The debate intensified, with media outlets analyzing whether Garth's exit was strategic, principled, or a mixture of both. The polarizing opinions further fueled the story, keeping it in the spotlight for days following the broadcast. The incident prompted discussions about Kelly Clarkson's interviewing style. Experts noted that her approach, while engaging, sometimes blurs the line between curiosity and provocation. They suggested that producers might reconsider the framing of sensitive questions in future episodes to avoid alienating high-profile guests. Garth's measured response became a talking point among celebrities and industry insiders. Many recognized the delicate balance required to navigate live interviews while preserving personal dignity. His calm exit was interpreted as a masterclass in managing professional boundaries under public scrutiny. The following week, media coverage focused on fan reactions and social commentary, rather than new revelations about Garth's personal life. Commentators praised the restraint shown by both the artist and the show's crew in handling the incident, framing it as an example of decorum and professionalism in modern media. Garth's exit also sparked discussions about mental health and the pressures faced by performers in live television. Psychologists highlighted the emotional strain of answering personal questions under public scrutiny and praised Garth for prioritizing his well-being without escalating the situation. Social media memes and commentary quickly turned Garth's calm departure into a symbol of setting healthy boundaries. Fans and content creators alike celebrated the way he handled the situation with composure, transforming a potentially tense moment into a statement on self-respect. Industry experts noted that the incident would likely influence how future celebrity interviews are approached. Producers might rethink how sensitive topics are framed, while celebrities may feel emboldened to assert their boundaries more clearly, preventing unnecessary emotional strain during live broadcasts. In retrospect, Garth Brooks' walk-off was less about confrontation and more about control. By choosing to leave calmly, he demonstrated that public figures can navigate difficult situations with dignity, emphasizing the importance of personal limits in a media landscape that often prioritizes drama over respect. Ultimately, the incident became a memorable moment in daytime television, sparking conversations about media ethics, celebrity boundaries, and the pressures of live interviews. Garth's composed exit left a lasting impression, showing that even in high-profile settings, personal dignity and professionalism can take precedence over sensationalism. In the days following the walk-off, media outlets dissected every moment of Garth Brooks' appearance on The Kelly Clarkson Show. Analysts focused on his body language, tone, and choice of words, emphasizing how even subtle actions like standing calmly or maintaining eye contact can communicate authority and self-respect in high-pressure interviews. Fans repeatedly praised his ability to leave without creating a spectacle, highlighting the importance of poise over theatrics. The incident sparked a surge of discussion on social media, with clips trending across TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. Fans used hashtags to express support for Garth's decision, praising him for prioritizing mental well-being and refusing to let provocative questions dominate the narrative. Many viewers admired the way he controlled the situation without lashing out, framing the exit as a lesson in dignity under pressure. Entertainment journalists explored the broader implications of the walk-off, noting how celebrities today are increasingly aware of their right to control the narrative. Garth's actions were interpreted as part of a wider cultural shift toward respecting personal boundaries, especially in environments that often reward sensationalism and confrontation over thoughtful dialogue. Kelly Clarkson addressed the situation briefly in later segments, acknowledging the intensity of the moment while emphasizing her respect for Garth's decision. Her response was measured, highlighting the importance of professionalism and understanding when interviews veer into sensitive territory. Many viewers appreciated her acknowledgement, although some still debated whether the questions had been too intrusive. Industry insiders suggested that Garth's exit could serve as a learning opportunity for talk show hosts. Balancing curiosity with respect is a delicate art, and the incident underscored how even experienced hosts can unintentionally push guests beyond comfort zones. Producers began considering new approaches for framing sensitive topics without causing emotional strain. Psychologists weighed in on the walk-off, noting that public figures often experience immense pressure to answer personal questions honestly, even when the subject is uncomfortable. Garth's choice to leave was framed as a healthy response to a stressful situation, demonstrating that maintaining emotional boundaries is essential for mental well-being. The incident reignited debates about accountability versus privacy. Critics argued that avoiding questions could be seen as evasive, while supporters emphasize that individuals have the right to refuse participation in discussions that feel invasive or irrelevant. This tension highlighted the ongoing conversation about the ethics of celebrity interviews in modern media. Fans of Garth Brooks flooded social media with supportive messages, emphasizing that his calm, respectful exit was a model of self-advocacy. Memes and commentaries celebrated his composure, creating a narrative that the walk-off was a statement of strength rather than weakness. This response helped frame the story positively despite the tension during the interview. Industry analysts predicted that the walk-off could influence how other celebrities approach interviews. Many performers have historically tolerated invasive questions to maintain public image, but Garth's decision demonstrated that asserting boundaries can be both effective and respected by audiences. This shift could redefine norms in live television interviews. The incident also became a talking point in discussions about the pressures of fame. Garth's career spans decades, yet the scrutiny of personal life remains constant. His calm refusal to engage in provocative questioning reinforced the idea that personal dignity is more important than pleasing media curiosity, resonating with both fans and fellow artists. Online forums and entertainment panels analyzed every facet of the exchange, debating Kelly's interviewing style and Garth's response. Some praised Kelly's persistence, while others criticized her for pushing too far. Garth's measured behavior was consistently highlighted as exemplary, a demonstration of maintaining professionalism while asserting boundaries. The walk-off prompted reflection on the responsibilities of talk show hosts. Experts emphasize that while probing questions can create engaging television, they must be balanced with empathy and respect. Garth's response served as a reminder that emotional intelligence is critical in high-pressure live settings. Within the industry, producers reportedly discussed the potential consequences of pushing high-profile guests too far. Garth's departure highlighted the delicate balance between ratings-driven drama and ethical interviewing, prompting a reassessment of how far hosts should go when asking personal questions. Fans began drawing comparisons between Garth's exit and other celebrity walk-offs on live television. Unlike some dramatic exits fueled by anger or frustration, Garth's exit was calm, polite, and controlled. This distinction made the moment stand out as a lesson in professionalism rather than controversy. The incident had a ripple effect, influencing conversations about celebrity mental health. Public awareness of the pressures faced by artists in live interviews grew, and Garth's decision was cited as an example of prioritizing well-being over performing for the camera. This perspective contributed to broader discussions about supporting public figures without exploiting vulnerability. Talk show hosts and media professionals reflected on how to create safe spaces for guests to speak freely without feeling pressured. Garth's walk-off demonstrated that even seasoned performers might feel trapped in situations where personal boundaries are ignored, highlighting the need for ethical standards in live interviews. The calm nature of Garth's exit became a cultural reference point, with fans sharing clips and commentary praising his self-respect. Online, discussions emphasize that leaving gracefully can be more powerful than engaging in confrontation, offering a model for others in similar high-pressure situations. In subsequent interviews, Garth focused entirely on music and his charitable work, avoiding unnecessary drama. This approach reinforced the idea that controlling the narrative doesn't require controversy, it requires clarity, calmness, and focus. Fans appreciated the authenticity he displayed after the walk-off incident. Analysts noted that the episode might change audience expectations for celebrity interviews. Viewers increasingly admire those who set limits and maintain dignity rather than participating in confrontational exchanges purely for entertainment value. Garth's exit could shape future television norms, encouraging hosts to prioritize respect over sensationalism. The conversation surrounding the walk-off extended beyond the show itself, sparking commentary on social media, podcasts, and news programs. Fans debated the ethics of certain interview questions, while industry experts highlighted how Garth's response reflected maturity and self-awareness in the public eye. Over time, Garth's exit was framed positively in media retrospectives. Rather than being seen as a failure to engage, It was interpreted as a deliberate, dignified decision to protect personal boundaries. His calm demeanor became a symbol of professionalism in a media landscape that often rewards drama over respect. Kelly Clarkson herself later reflected on the episode in interviews, acknowledging that live television can lead to unintended tensions. She praised Garth for his poised professionalism, admitting that the situation offered a lesson in balancing curiosity with sensitivity. This acknowledgement helped reshape the public narrative surrounding the incident. As clips of the walk-off circulated months later, Garth's composure continued to be praised. Many fans created tributes highlighting how his calm exit set a precedent for handling uncomfortable questions with dignity, demonstrating that self-respect need not be sacrificed for public engagement. Industry professionals also noted the implications for media training. Garth's example highlighted the importance of preparing celebrities to manage high-pressure interviews without compromising personal integrity. The walk-off was cited as a case study in maintaining professionalism under intense scrutiny. Ultimately, Garth Brooks' walk-off from The Kelly Clarkson Show became a defining moment, illustrating the importance of boundaries, mental health, and personal dignity in the public eye. The incident left a lasting impression on viewers, hosts, and media professionals alike, showing that calm, assertive action can be more powerful than conflict or spectacle. In the days following Garth Brooks' walk-off, entertainment news outlets dissected every moment of the interview. Headlines emphasized both the tension and his calm demeanor, praising him for walking away without creating a dramatic scene. Analysts highlighted how rare it is for a celebrity to assert boundaries so politely on live television, especially in an environment designed to provoke reaction. Fans continued sharing clips across TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, with many emphasizing the lesson in self-respect and professional composure. Discussions online praised Garth for prioritizing personal dignity over ratings-driven drama. Memes and commentary framed the walk-off as a masterclass in maintaining calm while under scrutiny. Industry professionals suggested that Garth's decision could influence how talk shows approach high-profile interviews in the future. Producers might now be more cautious with sensitive topics, ensuring that questions do not cross personal boundaries. This reflection highlighted the tension between engaging content and ethical interviewing practices. In interviews after the incident, Garth focused on his music and charitable endeavors, avoiding public discussions about the confrontation. Fans appreciated his ability to move past controversy without escalating the situation, seeing it as a sign of maturity and control over his public image. Kelly Clarkson also reflected on the incident, acknowledging that the exchange became more intense than anticipated. She praised Garth's professionalism and composure, framing the event as a learning moment for both hosts and audiences about the importance of respecting guest boundaries. Analysts explored the psychology behind celebrity interviews, noting that public figures often face intense pressure to respond to invasive questions. Garth's exit was seen as a healthy response to emotional strain, emphasizing the importance of protecting mental health in high-pressure environments. The conversation also sparked debates about accountability versus privacy. While some argued that public figures should answer difficult questions, others emphasized that personal matters should not be exploited for entertainment purposes. Garth's walk-off became a reference point in these discussions. Fans rallied behind Garth online, praising him for handling the situation with dignity. Social media users highlighted his calm departure as a positive example of setting boundaries, encouraging others to assert their own limits in stressful or uncomfortable scenarios. Industry observers noted that the walk-off could redefine audience expectations. Viewers increasingly admire celebrities who prioritize emotional well-being over dramatic confrontations. Garth's actions set a precedent, showing that personal dignity can outweigh ratings or viral moments. Television producers began reconsidering how they frame sensitive questions in interviews, acknowledging that pushing guests too far can lead to negative outcomes. Garth's decision underscored the importance of empathy and careful question framing in live settings. Social media discussions continued for weeks, with many users celebrating Garth's calm and polite exit. The conversation emphasized that a dignified walk-off can be more impactful than escalating conflicts or engaging in public arguments. Experts in media and communications analyzed the incident as a case study in boundary setting. Garth's approach illustrated how maintaining composure and professionalism, even when provoked, can influence public perception positively. Fans drew comparisons between Garth's exit and other celebrity walk-offs, noting the difference between calm, intentional departures and dramatic, emotional exits. Garth's behavior stood out as an example of assertiveness without confrontation. The incident also sparked broader conversations about celebrity mental health and the pressures of live interviews. Public awareness grew regarding the emotional strain such interactions can impose, with Garth's response often cited as an exemplar of self-care. Months later, Garth's walk-off continued to be referenced in media retrospectives. Analysts, fans, and industry insiders alike highlighted the event as a defining example of professionalism, illustrating that setting personal boundaries is both valid and necessary in the high-pressure environment of live television. Ultimately, the Garth Brooks walk-off became more than just a single television moment. It was a lesson in dignity, respect, and the power of calm action under pressure. His composed exit left a lasting impression on audiences and industry professionals alike, shaping conversations about media ethics, celebrity boundaries, and professional conduct for years to come.